Wednesday, February 10th. I am tired, very tired, which means that in, I don't know, however many days in the future, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, some of these shows are not going to be a blasty blast because I'm going to be quite sleepy, but we're learning that on the fly. That's fine. Welcome to the process. It's nice to have you. Wednesday, February 10th. 9 games today, so we've got a lot to go through. I really enjoyed doing this show yesterday. I really appreciate the reception, very kind words from everyone. So thank you very much. I'm hoping that we can keep doing this every single day. Hit the like button as you get in the door. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. All that good stuff. You guys know the drill here. We are going to go through my process. For those of you that didn't tune in yesterday, at the very least, we're going to go through my process. I'm going to go through each single team. We're going to project out the minutes, make some tweaks to usage rates and rebounding rates and things of that nature to try and dial in my projections for the rest of the day, leading into me recording the contenders independently of this stream, and then leading into the NBA strategy show, myself and Laffy breaking it all down, 10 o'clock Eastern time, AM, that is. And then, I don't know, the normal pattern of shows for the day. I'm not on Live Before Lock, but we'll have the tip-off, the deeper dive, Live Before Lock, 3 straight hours of content later today, kicking off at, what's today, 9 games? So, yeah, kicking off at 4. Whew, it's got to be good. Nice to see chat slowly trickling in. 53 viewers, 23 likes. Half of you aren't bad. Half of you aren't bad. Well, I don't think that I have too much time to dilly-dally today. I actually did not play last night. Did not register. It was National Pizza Day, and I got a pizza oven for Christmas. So I cranked out a bunch of pizzas for dinner for my wife and a buddy of mine. So we had nothing else to do but just stuff our faces filled with pizza. And I feel like I ate 2 pizzas yesterday because I did. And that is what is dragging me down today. So we've got the coffee. Enjoy a nice sip here. Got the water because I feel like I need to knock some of the pizza stuff that's in the pipes. I just got to knock that stuff out of there. And let's get moving. So let's just dive in first. We have the Atlanta Hawks, and we know 3 things. No DeAndre Hunter. No Bogdan Bogdanovic. No Rondo. These 3 guys are all out for today. That is the first thing that I looked at earlier, just to show you guys. Atlanta. Injured. Chris Dunn doesn't count because he hasn't played yet. Gonna try and have both things up at once. We'll see how that goes. And let's just do this. Not gonna be too much to change here for the Hawks. They've been running a pretty similar rotation for a while now. But the last time that I did this, Trae Young didn't play. So the last time that I projected out the Hawks, I clearly didn't play on the 6th because the 4th was the day that Trae Young didn't play, and I need to put Trae Young back in this lineup. So Trae Young needs to go in for 36 minutes. He just sort of plays that when the game is going well, and it's against Dallas, so I assume it goes well, which means that I also then need to cut Brandon Goodwin's minutes. Just going to put that in at 12. And I don't get the sense that I'm going to have too many other tweaks. I do need to take these 10 minutes from Tony Snell, give them to Okongwu just to clean up everything that I've been doing, and I need to take some time away. One from Bruno Fernando, the other from Solomon Hill. Ooh, Solomon Hill playing even more limited minutes. I'll make that 16. Caleb, I like your thought process, man. 60 viewers, 40 likes. That's what I like to see. You guys came out of the woodwork. Tons of likes on the video yesterday, long after we were done. I didn't know what the reception would be non-live. You know, how many people would want to watch this at noon, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. But I think it holds up pretty well, or at least gives you the building blocks of the slate. Picks up a little bit more knowledge if you like it. So I hope that that works out pretty well for everybody moving forward. But you guys, 3,000 views. I was very, very happy to see everything. Appreciate you guys. All right, let's take 10 minutes away from John Collins. Move him the power forward. We'll take 2 there. Put him there. And we'll give Tony Snell 13 minutes. Now we need to adjust some rates for good old Trae Young. Is this going to be too small? Time to find out. Not sure I love that, but I might be able to tweak the window size. Nope, that's about as good as it's going to get. The real Jetin, the Jetn. I don't know how I'm supposed to say that. I appreciate the super chat, man. Very, very much appreciated. Feel like it's not necessary at this moment in time, but I appreciate it nonetheless. All right, so let's hit the rates for all the blue players. And again, what we're looking at on this right-hand side of the screen, actually, it might be better if I, give me 1 second, guys. There we go. I had capture cursor off, so you guys couldn't really see what I was highlighting. So what I'm paying attention to most right now is this usage column. This is the usage with Bogdanovich off, Hunter off, Rondo off. So the 3 starters. And then I took off Skylar Mays and Nathan Knight because they are not guys that are going to they're definitely not going to see the floor today. And I like to take those guys off whenever I can if I have enough time. So I'm mostly paying attention to usage here. I wish I had a little bit more screen real estate. I might need to change the way that I display these columns for myself, but in order to give you guys like the full visual package, I might just have to make myself scroll a little bit. So we'll start with Cam Reddish. He's played 157 minutes with these guys off. He's normally a 19% usage guy. It's actually at 17.3 in this particular filter. I don't want to go too low since Reddish is a regular, but I will take him to 18.3. Ooh, the real Jetin. Okay, cool, got it. Didn't feel like saying Jetin was the proper way to speak. Matt O'Connell, you are up way earlier than I would ever expect. Buddy, I've been up for an hour and 15 minutes at this point in time. I got up at 5:15 today. It's normally 5:30, but I've increased that by 15 minutes because I think I need a couple extra minutes to actually get ready, get my coffee filled up, feed my dog, all that good stuff. All right, Capella's at 22.5% usage in this scenario. That is very appealing to me. So I'm going to give him 21.5. We're going to go to John Collins, 23.9. That's pretty high. I think we could stick him at 23. Kevin Huerter, 15. So we'll stick that at 16. Ooh, up since 4:30, the Guru. What do you do? Or are you just up at those times? 34 for Trae Young. Oh, nice. Thanks, Matt, for pinning the first name when you need to scroll. That is genius. Didn't think that was going to happen, which means that I can scroll over and this isn't going to be nearly as bad as I thought. Does Cam Reddish see any sort of bump in assist rate? No. Capella's rebounding rate, 16.5. I'm going to give him an extra percentage of rebounds. John Collins I actually want to take down since he's playing away from the rim a little bit more because of Capella. Work at 6:30. Gotcha, Guru. I know the feeling. Work at 6:30. You and me both. Only in this case, I just walk out my bedroom door and turn the corner, which is nice. Coffee is essential at this time. Trae Young assist rate 13.6. I probably don't need to even change that, but I think that looks fine, which means we could take a quick review ski. And looking like Atlanta, Trae Young, Clint Capella, John Collins, Kevin Huerter, all looking pretty nice. Kevin Huerter, 5K on FanDuel. Seems like a pretty nice price tag. Am I giving him too many minutes? Is 36 minutes too many? Kevin Huerter, nope, 36 minutes, spot on. No complaints there then. Yeah, playing 36 minutes. Okay, so no issues with those minutes. Okongwu's minutes, Solomon Hill's minutes, I don't need to touch. Gallo, actually, I need to give Gallo a couple more minutes. Who are they coming at the expense of? Not John Collins. Do I really not have minutes to go around? Is that possible? I guess it's coming from potentially Solomon Hill. So let's take that down to 14. Take Gallo up to 18. That gets him to 23. I'll give him this additional Tony Snell minute. We'll put him at 24. I think that looks a little bit better. So yeah, Trae Young, Clint Capella, John Collins, Kevin Huerter all look pretty solid at their own price tags on FanDuel. Pretty similar story on DraftKings as well. Yeah, Looks like Clint Capella, my favorite play coming out of Atlanta. Well, looks good. Not a lot of tweaks for Atlanta. They're pretty cut and dry. In this case, they just you know what you're getting out of most of these guys. All right, so for Brooklyn, as we move it along now, oh, man, this is gonna be perfect. All right, so for Brooklyn, obviously no Durant, Claxton, Reggie Perry. Nothing different than projecting out Brooklyn previously, which is good. Obviously, they played yesterday. 39 minutes out of James Harden yesterday. Did that not do anything weird? Nope, normal. Sorry, not sorry, man. That's not cool to me. I'm a big fan of Eric Lindquist. So, what's the total on the Atlanta game? Atlanta game is Mavs minus 4.5, 232 total. So there we go. All right. What was I just doing? Oh yeah, basketball reference. Brooklyn Nets Brox. I can't believe Brooklyn lost to Detroit last night. That is wild. All right, so Harden had 27% usage, Kyrie 37% usage. Good to know. All right, so I don't think that I should be moving James Harden's minutes, but I almost feel like I need to give him 37. The fact that it's a back-to-back, though, I don't really want to touch it. So I'm just going to stick. You know what? I probably should. I have the minutes to go around. So let's give Harden that extra minute. Joe Harris played 33. I can stick at 33. Jeff Green, I had at 32 minutes yesterday, but 31, 30, 29, 29. I think that I'm probably 2 minutes too high. I want to bring that down to just flat 30. Which means we need to look a little bit further. DeAndre Jordan, 23 minutes seems fine. Shaman, I gave 21. He played 18. I think that's fine. TLC, 20 and 19. Norvel Pell played 9 minutes, and then they went into garbage time with Tyler Johnson, Kioza, and then Noah Vonleh saw the floor, which is good. So I have 2 minutes left over. Probably just throw those to Tyler Johnson since it doesn't matter. And I don't get the sense that I need to change these rates all that much. I had James Harden at 27% yesterday. That's exactly what he hit. I probably am a spot low, so I'm going to give another percentage point to Kyrie. I don't really need TLC to have 16%, but it's not going to matter right now. So I think Brooklyn is just set. It's going to largely be the same thing we had for yesterday. Would this be in the way? Would it be more ridiculous to be up here? Yep, way more ridiculous. Hide me down at the bottom. All right, so on to Brooklyn now, just to see if anything's crazy. And everything seems pretty reasonable here. Favorite play is going to be Harden at 10-6, Kyrie second, and then not really getting to anything else from Brooklyn. Nothing crazy there. We're going to get into one of these teams where stuff pops off. What up, Terry? Good to see you. Good to see you. On to the Bulls. Are we doing this again? Do you need to have your own chart, or is just using Awesemo projections going to be okay? Oh, it's absolutely 100% going to be okay. Doing the things that I'm doing now are not essential for anybody else. They're essential for me for 2 reasons. One, it's been my process in the NBA long before I was with Awesemo. I've had this sheet and this model since late 2014. And, it's built up at that time. It's really just, it helps me understand the game more by having to go through everything on a day-to-day basis. And 2, from being on shows actively or just playing independently. For late news, I really like having it at my fingertips so that I can see it quickly. I do import our projections as well to cross-check myself with Alex, but he's doing the same thing that I'm doing, or probably significantly more, considering he's the #1 player in the world. The projections on the site are going to be fine for you. They're going to be updated really promptly. We're going to have projections, ownership, etc. All of that is going to be perfect for you. This is just it's so ingrained in me. Like for NFL, for example, I do not have like my own model like this. A lot of it is just coming straight from the website. I just don't know the NFL the same way. For the NBA, because of how long I've been doing the NBA process like this, and yeah, I'm saying the process on the process. Great plug for myself. I couldn't switch off of this now. This is just everything that I've ever known. Yes, I did, Mark. Mark Smith, that is. That was back-to-back questions. How many lineups do I play on average at a night? 150. I mean, that might be in more than one contest, but 150. I haven't been playing on both sites this year. I've just been FanDuel only. Been finding it really difficult to manage two at once right now, especially if I'm live. All right, so back to Chicago now. From an injury perspective, Markkanen still out, Carter still out, Porter still out, Chandler Hutchison still out. So we're going to be doing, I guess, the exact same thing. What's my wife saying to me? Good advice. Well, I'll read that later. I guess we're doing the same thing with the Bulls today. Yeah, if you bought Awesemo last week and didn't know if it was enough, I can promise you that it is enough. You'll have everything you need right in your fingertips. Boom Bust Tool, that would be the page that I would recommend you going to. God, I feel like I have real bad vocal fry right now. I don't think that I'm going to have to change too much here for the Bulls, but I'm curious to see what their prices end up being because of obviously them being ultra chalky this past game. I agree, Mark. He should try Fantasy Cruncher, but baby steps too. I don't want to push people to things that they're not ready for. All right, so Garrett Temple played 28 minutes. I gave him 24, and I feel like he's more likely to play 25 now than like lower minutes. So I'm going to take an additional minute here from Cristiano Felicio and move it in here. Daniel Gafford probably would have played more, but he just could not stay out of foul trouble. I watched him pick up 5 and like go on a hissy fit. That was kind of funny. All right, Zach LaVine's minutes are fine. Kobe White, I'm going to take a minute off of, go down to 32, and then give Garrett Temple 1 additional minute. So put him at 26. Satoransky played 23 and a half minutes. So I'm going to take 1 additional minute from Archie. Actually, I'm going to take 2 additional minutes from Archie, get him up to 23. Thad Young at 30, I think, is fine. It might even be a tad high. Patrick Williams played 35. I gave him 33. I'm going to hold there. And then Denzel Valentine played 28, coming off of 36. I'm giving him 30, and I think that's a safe spot to stay. I should not need to change any rates. These are going to be the same rates as before. I'm going to sneeze at some point in time. I can feel it coming. So let's just check out Chicago now. Let's see. So LaVine looking good. Patrick Williams again, 4,400 on FanDuel. 5,500 on DraftKings, not going to be as appealing, but he's still a fantastic play on FanDuel. Denzel Valentine is 4,400 on FanDuel. He's 5,300 on DK. So once again, we're going to be going straight back to the Bulls on FanDuel today. Kobe White as well, looking like a solid value on FanDuel. Might actually be a better play on DraftKings at 6,200, but it's going to be LaVine at the top, Patrick Williams and Denzel Valentine, and then Kobe White. Not much else to really look at, and there's no way I'm going to $6,900 Thad Young. Imagine if the Bulls had a dominant power forward and center paired with LaVine and White. Well, dominant would be interesting. I like Carter. I like Markkanen to a degree. I'd really like to see Zach LaVine get to a place where he has a rim protector to save himself from all of the awful defense, because everything he does offensively, he gives straight back on the defensive side. It's unfortunate. Anyone know the Excel function that Josh is using to keep track of the 48 minutes? If you mean at each position, it's just sum if. So it's sum if anytime the team matches Chicago, it'll just total that up. But it's just going to be a lot of sum ifs. How long did it take me to initially get this model configured? I mean, I'm constantly working on it. So, we're talking. I couldn't even go back to 2014 to tell you. I could rebuild it in like 12 hours if I got it down to the bones, which I do basically every season. All right, on to Charlotte. This is moving pretty quick, which is good because well, I have the tendency to dilly-dally. 117 people, 67 likes. So appreciate having you guys. Don't be afraid to hit that thumbs up. See if we can get that ratio to be 1-to-1. How long did it take to learn my own projections? So the original process didn't take as long as I was expecting. I actually just stole the process that's printed at Basketball Reference. They have a system called the Simple Projection System, and they have one example of like Dwight Howard's rebounds. So I practiced doing that one example, figured out how to do it in Excel, then figured out how to do it for everybody in Excel, then figured out that it was easier to make a database. So I made a database to import that information into Excel. I didn't know how to do any of that stuff. I basically just read it on Basketball Reference and then, just Googled all my questions until I was able to make it happen. I didn't know how to use SQL. I still don't really. I know how to use SQL and the database just enough to be able to spit out my projections. I don't have any background in it. I don't know how to use it. I don't know any. I just Google the questions that I need and ultimately end up on the answers through trial and error. And it's worked. So that's where I'm at. I'm always tweaking it though. All right. Terry Rozier, 34 minutes. Does that need to move? No. You can make a case it probably has to go down, if anything, but it won't. So I don't think that I need to change anything for Charlotte. It looks like those rotations are going to be the same. Biyombo still getting about 10 minutes. This feels pretty much spot on here. I can't, maybe, I mean, honestly, like potentially even more playing time to LaMelo Ball, but that would be crazy. Rates should be fine. I'm not making any changes to where we were previously. So let's check out Charlotte. All right, so Charlotte seems fine to me. Looks like LaMelo and Gordon Hayward are going to be my two top plays on FanDuel. They are separating quite a bit from the pack. LaMelo 8,200, man, that's a price tag. PJ Washington, Terry Rozier, Cody Zeller also in play on FanDuel. From a DK perspective, I would say that Zeller is significantly less in play at 5,900. Hayward, Ball, Washington, and Rozier, though, still look good. Do I manually input my prices? No. I have a salary sheet, and I could just do a CSV refresh. We are cruising through this. 4 teams down already. Morning, Mike. How's Tampa doing? I've only ever been there once for one day. Flew into Tampa, whatever random morning, like a Monday morning, and I was back in my house Tuesday morning. I went to eat at some really nice steakhouse or something along those lines. Huge place, big wine basement. They've got like an extensive liquor list. I had some Pappy, some other old cognacs. It was good. All right, Cleveland. I'm sure they have weird injury stuff going on, right? Nope. Love, Nance, Delhi, JaVale, probable. Not that Burns. Yes, it was Burns. It's a good place. Really enjoyed that time. Shout out to 1AB Media. Andre Drummond. Should I be giving him an extra minute here? I should. Okay, so Jared Allen played 34 minutes. Andre Drummond played 36 minutes. These guys are going to need significantly more minutes. I assume they're going to be playing together pretty regularly, which means that someone's going to need to take a pretty healthy haircut. Whose minutes fell for Jared Allen to get a giant boost? Nobody? It's just Nance's minutes. Oh, yeah, Nance came back for one game. That's so weird. All right, so Taurean Prince can go down to 26. That's 2 more for Jared Allen. But either way, I need to get Drummond to 30, and I need to get Jared Allen to, I'm going to say 28. Let's look a little bit further into this. I think it's going to be important. So, all right. So, I mean, they're just playing together. Full stop. No anything. They are just playing alongside each other. There are essentially no quirks in this rotation outside of, I can only assume. Okay, so they went to Prince over Okoro, and that was it. So, okay, this should be way easier than I was expecting then. All right. You take these 6 minutes from Dean Wade. That puts me to 240 right out of the gate, which makes things better. Let's just massage these a little bit more. So let's move Chetty's minutes over. And I think that I can take 2 from him. Okay, so yeah, I'm actually going to have to give JaVale minutes if they are running rotations like that. Didn't really think about it like that, but if they're going to not stagger Drummond and Allen, which I don't know why they wouldn't, then they're going to need JaVale in this gap. So he is going to need to keep like an 8-minute rotation. So let's give JaVale 8 minutes. And now I need to figure out where to take those from. We'll move that down to 4, 18. Looks like they're going to be coming from Lamar Stevens, if I had to guess. Yes, sir. Totally right. All right, so now I have 8 minutes left over. Who needs them? Damian Dotson is the guy that gets them. Good to know. That's easy. Bang. All right. In the grand scheme of things, I don't have to change any rates. I don't have enough data for these guys being on the floor together, so I'm just going to stick with what I had. Even if JaVale got ejected, it doesn't. It happened pretty late. You can see JaVale played his normal rotation in the first half, and then he played for 2.5 minutes, got teed up, and then came out. But he really only would have played like another minute before they made, like they brought Jared Allen right in, but Jared Allen and Drummond were coming in within like a minute or two. So even if he was ejected, which I'm going to just assume that people are correct, it doesn't matter. Rates should be fine. So let's check Cleveland. Yeah, no complaints here for Cleveland. Drummond, the clear top play for me coming out of the Cavs on FanDuel at 7,700. Very, very good look. Yeah. Sexton is fine. Jared Allen, not as interested as I would have expected. Normally a 0.1 fantasy point per minute guy. I've got him projected at 0.1, but that's not going to be enough at 6,400. On the DK side, it's still going to be Drummond pretty aggressively, not as aggressively on FanDuel. Colin Sexton, Jared Allen, and then a little bit of Darius Garland at 6K looks okay. Not as much so on FanDuel, though. Cleveland looking good. Moving it along, people. Moving it along. Whew, a lot of teams to get to. Through the first half hour, I haven't said anything. I haven't plugged anything else. But again, watch the strategy show, NHL strategy. I've got a betting video with Ben Raza coming out today for PGA. Man, you'll have what? And MMA strategy show tonight. PGA Live before lock. 3 hours tonight of all the other good stuff. Why doesn't Drummond demand a trade to your Celtics? I don't think you want the answer to that in truth, but let's do this. 1, the Celtics wouldn't want him. 2, he makes too much money. 3, he has no trade value. He has no ability to demand a trade anywhere. Nobody really wants him. He got traded last year for a bag of balls, John Henson's contract. It's not going to take much to get Andre Drummond if you want him. So. But also, the Celtics shouldn't want him. That's neither here nor there. To the Dallas Mavericks. I hope everything's normal. It is. That is exciting. Porzingis went bananas last game. That's always fun to see. I don't think I'm going to have much to change here. Maybe Maxi's minutes? No, 28 looks fine. Jalen Brunson, 24 could probably go down to. Does FanDuel or DK more closely represent Yahoo? Probably neither. Just because of their salary structure with the $10 minimum, it creates a really different visual. But in terms of like play style, it's going to be the same. But just like getting used to it, it's kind of its own beast. Like it's sort of like a merging of both the way that they have their rosters set up. The Bulls can't get Drummond. One that he doesn't. That's a bad fit. You got to keep relying on Wendell Carter. I don't think that I have anything to change for Dallas. This rotation looks pretty spot on. I have nothing here. This looks like I could take a minute away from Tim Hardaway, but I don't think it really matters all that much. This just looks right. Let's check Dallas. Yeah, I'm going to be right where I want to be, I guess. I mean, Lonzo's good, Jackson. And Kyle Lowry, a little long in the tooth. Lonzo would look solid next to Fred VanVleet. That would be a decent backcourt combo. But they'd have no. You guys got to remember, contracts matter in the NBA. Drummond makes a ton. They can't just soak up. You can't just. It's not like turning off trades in NBA 2K. Like for the Raptors to get someone like Drummond, they pretty much have to trade Norm Powell or Kyle Lowry, which I think it's possible they trade Kyle Lowry. But if they're trading Kyle Lowry, they're not trading to get back Andre Drummond. Boo Cuban with no national anthem policy. Yeah, so I saw that story come out. I'm not going to lie. I think I like it. I think that it's exactly what should be happening in sports. I don't really see the need to be playing the national anthem at a sporting event. I understand the tradition of it all. I have no problem with the national anthem, but it's a weird fit. The fact that we play it at sports, but we don't play it at like everyone's job. I don't know why we do one and not the other. So, I commend Cubes for that. I also, here's why it's not all that important. He did it from the beginning of the year. Nobody said anything because nobody noticed. That is what I think is the most interesting part of this story. The fact that no one noticed that it happened for weeks. All right, Luka's the favorite play. No surprise here coming out of Dallas. A little bit of Porzingis, a little bit of Jay Rich on FanDuel, and that's it. Denver now. Oh, I assume they have like multiple Q tags and stupid injuries. Yeah, Jackson, I'm not saying that I don't think that Drummond would help the Raptors. I do. They just don't have any real ability to get Andre Drummond from a contract perspective. And the things that they would have to do it wouldn't be worth it in the long run. All right, on to Denver. Okay, so Gary Harris out, PJ Dozier out, Facundo Campazzo in. So I'm not going to need to make many changes here for Denver. Guys, I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret right now. Once you guys hit 100 likes, it's at 95 now. I just assume it'll be there, so I'll keep talking. Finding teams where you don't really have to make many tweaks to the rotation is like the best thing in the world in the morning. I love it so much. Do I think Cleveland buys out Drummond? No, I think they're actually going to keep Drummond. Since they have a chance to make the play-in tournament, I actually think that they're going to want to keep him around. I mean, I think that they would take an asset for him if they could get it. I think the more likely scenario is that they buy out JaVale. There's not really a lot of positives for the Cavs to buy out Andre Drummond because like they're trying to be decent and saving $3 million for them in this particular case is kind of irrelevant. Yeah, so if Campaso's playing, like, I don't really have any changes to make here. All of the normal players are just going to play. I guess I could bump up Paul Millsap's minutes. He just varies so much. But I think that I probably need to give him at least 2 more. I don't care where they come from. So Lakers are not going to get Drummond. That I can pretty much bet my life on. Yeah, this looks fine. Millsap's minutes are the only weird piece, but I don't really see much I could change. 27 for Porter seems fine. 26 for Monty Morris seems potentially low. Maybe make that 27. If you're not making changes to areas, is that, barring existing injury, a small indicator to avoid them? No, not at all. It's just, some teams, their rotations are just set. They play 9 guys. Those guys play about the same amount of minutes every time. And, all the rates have already been manually adjusted and changed. So, in the grand scheme of things, if teams don't have any injuries, you can get to that point where teams that don't have a lot of changes wouldn't be great just because, salaries start to stabilize. But at the same time, you can go from playing the Knicks one day to Golden State the next day, and that's a change of probably like 8 additional possessions in a game. That's going to change the way anybody looks no matter what. Oh, and we got to that 100 likes, so I appreciate you guys. All right, let's look at Denver quickly. Favorite plays on Denver: Jokic at the top, 11-1 on FanDuel, 11K on DK. Still a solid value. Murray, Porter, Barton, the other 3 guys that I would have my eye on. Nobody else from Denver. I like Drummond. He's just like mildly overpaid at his salary and becomes really difficult to trade. But I assume in his free agency this year, someone's going to give him 4 years and a pretty healthy chunk of change. And he's just going to go on to continue to put up 20 and 14 every day. It's just not the way that I would want to spend my money in this NBA. To Indiana we go. No TJ Warren, no Karis LeVert. Karis LeVert with the team, by the way. I saw that recently. I don't know when he's going to be back, but it's nice to see that he's going to be healthy. This is coming from a guy that really doesn't like Karis LeVert as a basketball player, but I want him to be healthy at the very least. Let's see. So Aaron Holiday's minutes seem fine at 16. Has anybody been getting more minutes than I would expect? Yeah, I saw Cole Anthony played limited minutes. Did he get hurt or leave early or something? Again, for those that missed it at the beginning, I did not play last night's slate. Cooked some pizzas for National Pizza Day. So I was curious. I saw Cole Anthony's box score, but I didn't look into it. God, my nose is so itchy. It's so dry here right now. Yeah, I don't think I have much here to change. These minutes, I got to bump up Dougie McBucket's minutes. 29, 33, 32 over the last 3. That's just not going to work for me. So who's not playing as much as I think they are? Lamb is at 24 and 24. So I need to walk Jeremy Lamb down a bit. We'll bump up Dougie B. But I do want to make sure that's the shoulder injury. Thank you, Jason. Appreciate it. Where's Indiana? They didn't play yesterday, right? They played 2 days ago. 3 days ago, I guess. All right, so how's this rotation working out? Why is Jeremy Lamb coming off? So he's not closing. They're going to make buckets here. That is a specific decision. Okay. What about the game before that? When the hell did they play? Why don't I just look at the damn dates? It's the 5th, so it should be there. I feel like Kramer. All right, so Lamb started and just didn't come back in. They went to McBuckets again. So, okay, I'm just going to assume that Dougie McBuckets is getting this closing run and Jeremy Lamb is not, which is not at all what I would have expected for this team, but I think that's going to be important to see. So I want to give McBuckets another minute. Yeah, Cat out for another. I mean, I can't imagine what it was like for him to have COVID. He must have been terrified given all the stuff that happened to his family through this entire quarantine. Not good. All right, these rates for Indiana should be fine. So Pacers played their whole bench against New Orleans in the fourth. They Yes, they did. Yes, they did. McBuckets, McConnell, Aaron Holiday, Goga, and Justin Holiday as well. I think McBuckets is just going to be in this closing lineup, though. It's the Utah game that's tipping me off. They brought Jeremy Lamb in. I mean, they had McBuckets in that whole rotation and then just went back to him, which makes some sense to me. Like, you've got your creation guys out there in Brogdon and Sabonis. That kind of makes Lamb redundant, and having McBuckets out there from a defensive standpoint and from a shooting standpoint, not that Lamb's not a good shooter, but like having McBuckets as the spot up guy, lower usage, I think that makes some sense. So from Indiana, Brogdon, Sabonis, and Turner are the only three guys that I have any real interest in. McBuckets is now 4,500 on FanDuel. He was priced down last game, 4,800 on DK. All right, let's save this because I'm starting to get nervous. Dylan, hi from Australia. Is it possible one day we can get a tutorial on how you created your database and Excel spreadsheets? Man, I'm going to get this question a lot. There's no chance that that's ever happening. And it's not that I don't want to do it. It's just, I wouldn't even know where to start. It would be hours and hours to go through this Excel workbook. I mean, we're talking importing a schedule, salary files, my entire depth chart process, breaking out all of my player rates. I mean, it's just columns on columns on columns of tweaks and changes that I could be making. Going through that would be quite laborious. I've got importing my projection system completely. My cleaning script setting up to scrape off Basketball Reference. It's a lot. It is quite a lot. All right, so on to the Clippers now. I assume the Clippers have a very interesting rotation today. Oh, my dog's at the door, that's for sure. Just ran himself straight into it. All right, let's look at the Clippers. Current roster health. Patrick Beverley questionable. Paul George still out. Is Beverley legitimately questionable? That's really the question here. Get it? Question. Beverley is being listed as questionable. Tyronn Lue said Beverley would play in at least one game in this road trip. So we'll have to wait till shoot around, but I'm going to go ahead and assume that Patrick Beverley is playing today, which means goodbye, Terrence Mann. Hello, Pat Bev. I mean, we're not playing him. That's abundantly clear. I'm just going to split some minutes with Reggie Jackson and with Pat Bev. Most of this should then look good. I don't get the sense I want to. Did Josh skip Denver? No, sort of. I mean, I went through it pretty quickly. They didn't have any changes. Sell an Excel course next season. No chance. Like the idea. Just not going to happen. Not something I want to do. Yeah, not something that I would want to put time into. All right, I'm gonna stick with everything else that I have here from a minutes perspective. I do want to take a look though at Clippers rates now that Beverly is back. This is the first time we've actually had to dig into some rates for something I haven't looked at yet. So go back to Wowie and start filtering people off. So we'll start with Paul George. Since we're assuming Pat Bev is on the court today, we'll leave him on. I'll take off Daniel Atoru. I'll take off Pat. I'll take off Kabangele. For some reason, I took off Lou Williams, which it feels like Lou Williams hasn't been on the floor, but not the case. And then I'm going to grab Amir Coffee as well. Yeah, I've given like Excel lessons at previous jobs before. It's not fun. I don't want to be anybody's tech support. All right, so Zubac 15, fine. Kawhi 32.5, fine. Lou Will 26, bump it. Luke Kennard 15, fine. Marcus Morris 18, fine. Batum 13.5, fine. Pat Bev, that's what we needed. 14.5, done. Reggie Jackson 20, Serge 22. All right, this was easy. So for the Clippers tonight, Kawhi and Batum, the only two guys that I have my eye on. No one else looking all that great. Moving on. About halfway done. I think I'm making okay time. Although I would have thought I was making even better time. Given how quickly some of these teams went, which is kind of terrifying for the future because I assume it's not going to get any better. Lake show now. Oh, Lakers, Oklahoma City. This could get ugly. So for the Lakers, LeBron probable, AD questionable, Caruso questionable. I'm assuming we don't have any like real info here, and we're just going to be waiting on this. But I'm going to be putting AD back in, I think. Something that I listened to on the Dunked On podcast, so Nate Dunk and Danny LaRue, listen to them constantly. The injury for AD and the write-up for it is right Achilles tendinosis, not tendinitis. And the difference between those two things, the way that they describe that at least, tendinitis is going to be more limited. Tendinosis is going to be more of a long-term issue, degradation for him. So I think that the tendinosis designation is a little bit worrisome for AD. That lets me think that this is something we're going to be dealing with a lot more down the line, and if this was listed as right Achilles tendinitis, it might just be like a limited rest thing. But I'm going to have to put AD back in this game, that's for sure. So I'm going to gut this entire Lakers rotation to make things easier for myself. And I'm going to assume that Alex Caruso also plays, but I should probably go read that blurb, find out if that's legitimate or not. Not really. I should just text Alex Baker to find out if he is playing or not. We're going to need to do the Lakers rates again since everything was set up for AD to be off. All right, so let's get the centers in. Marc Gasol plays about 20 minutes. There's not going to be much here that we need to worry about there. So let's put Gasol in for 20. Let's put Montrezl Harrell in for 25. I think that seems fine, which gives AD 3 additional minutes. We'll give him... I expect him... Look, if AD plays, he's just going to play, so then we're fine there, which means we need to go to the point guard spot. Dennis Schroeder, I think 30 works there. We'll give Caruso 18 on the back end. If he doesn't play, he doesn't play. We'll move that around. Which means that we need to give KCP his normal 27 minutes. Markieff Morris just not in the rotation anymore. So we'll give LeBron 17 and 17, which gives Talen Horton Tucker 20. We'll give him 20 for right now. Which means I need to give Kuzma 11 and probably 11. That gives me 10 leftover minutes, which I assume needs to go to Wes Matthews. That seems... well, no. If the normal rotation is in, then I shouldn't be giving these minutes anywhere. But who would I be light on? Who would I be light on to be giving me 10 additional minutes? I guess probably LeBron and AD should be more at like 36 and 36, but I don't feel like I can go there against Oklahoma City. Schroeder's minutes seem fine. KCP's fine. Harold Kuzma. I'll give one more to Kuzma. Caruso can probably be 20 instead of 18. That won't matter all that much, and then I'll just give it Wes Matthews the final 8. I don't really like that though. I just don't think it matters. This is the Drummond trade special. Yep, exactly. Nailed it. Nailed it. All right, we'll take Kakak off. We'll take Costas off. We'll take Jared Dudley off. Take McKinney off. What else we got? Take Quinn Cook off. And then we're good. Actually, I should probably take Keefe off. Yeah, let's take Keefe off as well. Wow. 198 concurrent viewers, 126 likes. Hey, guys, we're going to get 200 people in here today at the butt crack of dawn. All right, AD usage 27. That'll work. Schroeder 21. Make it 22. KCP 14. 14. Kyle Kuzma 19 and a half. Call it 20. LeBron James 30. Mark Gasol. Oh, LeBron James' assist rate still 11. Yeah, we're good. Mark Gasol 10% usage. Great job. Can we get 1,000 likes? That one might be tough. We're not going to get it live. That much I can tell you. Montrezl Harrell will go 19 and a half. Talen Horton Tucker 18. Go 19 and a half. Not looking good for the Lake Show today. That has a lot to do with Oklahoma City too. Yeah, I'm even being mildly aggressive with my projections here, but AD, and that's about it. But that's sort of the case for me every night for the Lakers. You can get to a little bit more LeBron James on DraftKings, I think, but just not a ton of interest in the Lakers. Lakers 12.5-point favorites, 218 total against Oklahoma City. Keeping it moving. Lots to do. Memphis. This one feels like it should just be normal, but I remember so little about Memphis on a day-to-day basis. It's nuts. All right, so still no Jaren Jackson, clearly. No Brandon Clark, no Melton. So it's the same rotation as before. That's aggressive. Aggressive. 200 people is crazy right now. Thanks, M. McGinty. Yeah, like I find SQL to be I don't want to say hard, but it's just never something that I've put in enough time in. I just try to learn enough to do what I need to do. Oh God, this is going to be wild. All right, so Morant, I need to give at least another minute. That's for sure. So we'll get him to 33. Tyus Jones played 14 minutes. I don't even know if I need to give him that. Grayson Allen's minutes are fine. Desmond Bane started, played 26 minutes. I feel pretty good there. Tillman played 20 minutes. All right, so Jonas saw the boost. He actually got back up in minutes. So I'm going to take those 2 minutes from Tillman and give them to Jonas. The question then becomes, why did Gorgeous Dong play 10 minutes on the 8th? Because that'll be an important answer. Probably because they were getting schmiggity schmacked. All right, so he had no fouls in the first rotation, none in the second. They brought him in for 1 minute, and then he never saw the floor again. He was a -9. I don't totally know how to read into that information. Probably need to take 2 minutes off of him and then give them back to Tillman. 28 to slow-mo. Might actually be low-mo. Zing. I think that's close. I just think that Memphis is uninteresting. So I'm under on Ja, but I'm not changing his rates. I think they're right. So let's see. Oh, they are playing Charlotte. Yeah, I think I'm going to be pretty light on Memphis. I'm not seeing a ton that jumps out. DraftKings not looking all that good. Morant, Joval on FanDuel, maybe a little slow-mo. That's about it. I just don't like this Memphis team today, at least not yet. Yeah, I know Jonas had a good game, but you don't normally like put in Gorgie Jang and then pull him back out again a minute later. Justice Jones, that could be a more important reason. All right, on to Milwaukee. Assuming they're just like super normal right now. Oh yeah, Drew Holiday is out. Totally forgot that he was out. Okay, so that's going to change up a lot for well, it's not going to change up a lot for Milwaukee, but I'm going to have to change a lot for Milwaukee. So let's start at the bigs. We get Brook Lopez. We give him 30 minutes. We call it actually we give him 29 minutes. We call it a day. Lopez at 27.6, Portis at 20.3. Essentially the same. All right, so let's just give Portis those 19. We'll give him 2 more. Even though they probably won't play alongside each other. Wow, we've been live for an hour already. I got to make this move a little bit faster. 1, 2, 3. All right, 6 games to go. Okay, so point guard. Bryn Forbes started. Ooh, you would have thought it was DJ Augustine, huh? Let's look at that rotation for Milwaukee. It was DiVincenzo, Giannis, Brook Lopez, Middleton, Bryn Forbes. And then they just randomized everything afterwards because they're Milwaukee and that's what they do. Okay, good to know. That's all that matters. Let's just give Giannis his 34 minutes now. And then we can start filling this out. So, Bryn Forbes played 26 minutes. I'm just going to assume that the rotation that they had for this game is going to be pretty similar. Just a lot of guys in the 20s plus the 4 normal starters. So let's give Bryn Forbes those 26 minutes. Let's give DJ Augustine 21. And then I'll have 1 minute left over to give to DiVincenzo here, who I expect to play about 29 minutes. So I'll give him 28. Pat Connaughton played 21 minutes. I think that looks fine. So we'll give him 20 and then 1. Who am I missing? Middleton and Torrey Craig. And that's it. So Middleton gets these 12. And then give him 1 additional minute. Then I almost said LeBron. Then Giannis. 1 additional minute than Giannis. We'll get them to 35. Which would say that I'd need 24 minutes for Torrey Craig, but that's not happening. So I will give Torrey Craig 22 minutes, and then I'll make Thanasis my spillover. This is actually going to be really interesting to see Milwaukee's rates with Drew Holiday off the floor, because that's definitely not something that I have here. So we'll take Drew Holiday off. Milwaukee so rarely has like rotational changes. So this should be a big one. Let's take off Jalen Adams, Sam Merrill, everyone's favorite top shot, Sam Merrill. Ooh, starting to wake up, guys. Starting to get a little bit of energy. I think the caffeine's starting to hit me. We're about 2/3 of the way done this coffee. I hope everybody else is enjoying their coffee in their morning. Tried to click on Sam Merrill, didn't work. Now we go. Sam Merrill. Also take DJ Wilson off. And then Jordan Nwora. And I think we can move forward from there. So, there we go. Bobby Portis, 17% usage in 150 minutes, normally at 20. So I'm going to set that to 18. We're going to move Brook Lopez. He's normally 17. I'm just going to hold him tight. 20 on Bryn Forbes. Make that 19 since he's in the starting lineup. That's his normal rate. DJ Augustine is around 19. Just going to set that there. Dante DiVincenzo, 18.4 in 213 minutes with Drew off. Normally a 17.5 guy, so I'm just going to lock that in at 18. Giannis with no Drew, 200 minutes, 32% usage. That is lower than his normal usage rate. I don't want to go too low, so I'm just going to lock that in at 33. Does he do more creation? All right, so Giannis, in my data, 7.8 assist rate. That's not the way that most people say assist rate. So that's 7.8 possessions with an assist. That jumps to 11.1 with Drew off. So Giannis is doing a lot more facilitation with no Drew Holiday. So I'm going to move his normal rate from 8 up to 10. Does that change the way that he rebounds at all? I assume no. Yeah, not really. And then for Chris Middleton, 26.4% usage with no Drew Holiday on the floor. I'm going to stick that at 26. I think that looks right. Also sees a monster increase. Also goes to 11% assist rate. So I'm going to take him to 10 as well. I think that's going to be the piece that makes the most sense. So let's go evaluate Milwaukee. Yeah, I'm more than okay with that. What do I have Giannis at? 52.4 divided by 34. 1.54 fantasy points per minute. I like that. Phoenix plays a little slower, so the pace is going to get him. Yeah, wow. So even with Drew Holiday out, Milwaukee is still basically just Giannis and Middleton for me on both sites. They both look really good, guys that you should have, but I'm not really looking at anybody else, whether that's Lopez, DiVincenzo, Bryn Forbes. It's not it for me. But I like Middleton more than I like Giannis on FanDuel, 7,600. Done. Keeping it moving. 6 to go. Minnesota. There's no way this one's going to be fun to do. Minnesota, for example. All right, so surprise, surprise, D'Angelo Russell's questionable. He's always questionable. Towns is doubtful, and from what I read yesterday, he's not coming back anytime like soon, but who knows? Now that I said that, maybe he will. He had like lung something or other. Yeah, Ryan Saunders said his lung capacity needs to improve before he's cleared. So that doesn't sound like something that just happens over a night's sleep. So I'm going to assume that they're running out the same thing that they've been running out for the past day or two. Daniel, I agree. Trust the process, my man. Trust the process. Joel Embiid would probably sue me for that one. Okay, I don't have much to... Oh, yeah, Russell did leave after 6 minutes in that last one. That I forgot about. Because I know he's been questionable like over and over again, but I totally forgot he left and didn't come back. Oh, man. I have to assume he plays for right now just because of the way that this whole process works. So this is a good example. I have no idea if D'Angelo Russell is going to play, but it's easier to put him in now and pivot later than do the opposite, especially when you don't know what's going to happen. So for right now, I don't really have any rotational changes to make. This is basically the same as it was 2 nights ago. I can afford to give Malik Beasley an additional minute, but other than that, all of these rates are set up as they should have been previously. So I'm going to stick with this, and if Russell ends up out, he ends up out. So other than me being heavy on Naz Reid, heavier on Naz Reid, not much coming out of Minnesota. That makes a ton of sense to me. Who do they play? I can't even find their name. Oh, they play the Clippers. Yeah. Good luck, Naz Reid. Do I need to take some playing time away from you? No. Maybe. No. I think we're fine. I just don't think I'm going to get to Minnesota. Not a great matchup against the Clip Show. All right, on to the Pellies. What happened here last night? So Josh Hart went crazy. That'll be fun for people to chase. All right, from a New Orleans standpoint, everybody healthy, or at least relatively healthy. So Ingram's minutes are fine. Bledsoe probably can take a haircut again. Nickeil Alexander-Walker got his run back, but also so did Kira Lewis, which is interesting. Redick, the guy that didn't get as much. Zion, don't care. Bledsoe, don't care. Lonzo, 31, that's fine. Adams, 21. Could make that 30. Make Willie Hernan-Gomez 15. All right, I need to look at this Steven Adams rotation. Yeah. Is AD healthy? No. But he might play. All right, so Adams. So they just didn't close with Steven Adams yesterday. That's kind of crazy. They just stayed with Willie Hernan-Gomez, even though things just kept getting worse. Or, sorry, things kept getting better, rather. He was plus 12 in that 10-minute stretch. I don't think that that's going to be any sort of long-term change, so I'm not going to sweat that too much. But Kira Lewis played a normal rotation. Nickeil Alexander-Walker played like a relatively normal rotation. So who isn't getting time? I guess it's probably JJ. Let's see here. So after 3 quarters, they were up 11. So they weren't looking at any sort of real changes. The problem was then even right out of the gate, it was only 2 more. So they turned it on right at the end of the 4th quarter. So I think that we could stick with most of their normal stuff. Well, Jackson Hayes is not a real person in this regard. He's not in the rotation either way right now. Now, Zion foul trouble, not something I'm worried about either. The backcourt is where I'm curious about the minutes with Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Kira Lewis, and then Redick. Josh Hart played 40 minutes. That is not going to be like a common occurrence. I think he gets right back to his normal like 25, 26 type thing. They just need to trade JJ at this point. All right, I think that's going to have to be good. So if we look at New Orleans. All right, so I'm heavy on Zion more than I'm expecting. Steven Adams and Brandon Ingram. I like all 3 guys. I like Zion and Steven Adams the most on FanDuel. Brandon Ingram 3rd. Zion, Ingram, and Adams on DK. That's about it. Good. New Orleans is a tricky team to look at right now. They need to make some moves. All right, we're on to Oklahoma City now. I assume they still only have 8 bodies. Can't imagine anything awesome has happened for those guys. All right, we got 215 people, 160 likes. Just want to say this one last time. Thank you for joining me this morning. We're going to be finishing this one up in about 10, 15 minutes. It's good to do this. We'll be back again tomorrow. Tons of content coming up today, but like, subscribe, notification bell. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman so you can see updates for things that I do on days that I actually play. Still no George Hill, no Shea, no Maladon, Pogashevsky in the G League, Roby in, Muscala out with the concussion. Cool. So it's the same thing as normal, which means this is going to be awful. Wait. What happened to Shea? What am I forgetting? You get hurt again? Oh, yeah. Totally forgot about that. Okay, yeah, it's Oklahoma City season. Whew. Yeah, so Caleb, I guess I kind of want to touch on that. I forgot that he was out and then in and then out again. Yeah, the play more, play less thing. I get some questions on that from my tweets when I post my updates. So the only thing that I could really do is just like I can show the data and then I can tell you guys. I can't show you guys the ownership data on Twitter. So I can only really talk about guys that I want to have more than the field or less than the field. So that's what play more, play less means. Those are the guys that I like more than most aggressively over the field, or guys that I like most or least like compared to the field. So you'll never see me really saying guys that are like already ultra popular in that stance for play more. It's always going to be like relatively low owned GPP plays that I like a lot, or relatively high owned GPP plays that I don't like as much. So that's sort of the context behind that. All right, so they're going straight back to the rotation from here, I would imagine, which means, oh God, this is going to be nuts. So Diallo is going to get a bunch more time, and he's going to just be the natural point guard. So that's going to be 35 minutes. Horford isn't going to play too much. Who the hell is the backup point guard in this? It doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter. I just got to give all of these idiots playing time. Justin Jackson played 30 minutes in that game. I'm going to give him 28 for right now. Lou Dort, who was highly problematic for me previously and didn't play in that game, so that helps. So they have 9 guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many active guys do they have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Oh, this Thunder team is going to be 50 shades of gross today. All right, Darius Miller can stick at 18. Horford at 30 isn't really going anywhere, which means that Bazley's probably going to need to play more than 34 minutes. So I'm going to make him be at 18. Kenrich Williams is going to have to play a lot of playing time. Oh, I don't have Isaiah Roby in. Now everything makes so much more sense. So we'll make that 36. We'll give Isaiah Roby 18 and right, he played alongside Horford there, so we'll give him 30. Okay, now we're making sense. Now I can really adjust this stuff. All right, so Kenrich Williams can go down to the 3 and play 30 minutes. I'm going to stick Dort at 32 so I don't play too much Dort, because that is fixing to be a problem. Darius Miller's just going to be a 2 today. We're at 239, so I think that's actually fine. I don't really have anybody else that I want to change. I think that looks like it's good. So all 240 minutes are accounted for. We'll see what we can do with rates since half the team is not on the floor. See, I knew there was going to be a team where we actually had to dig in. And, oh, even better for Oklahoma City, they play the Lakers, so this should be terrible. I actually don't feel like Anthony Davis is going to play now today. All right, so let's take off Shea and George Hill and Maladone, and we'll see what we end up with there. That should cover most of this. All right, I don't care that Muscala is on. If I don't leave him on, it's going to be a problem. So Horford, 31% usage in 46 minutes with these guys off. There's no way that I can give Al Horford 31.5% usage to match that. But I'm going to say that it's like 24. So Al Horford is probably going to look like a smash play today. I also have to bump his assist rate. Bazley, 21% usage. So I'm going to make that 20. I'm going to make Hamidou Diallo, who's had 27% usage in 80 minutes. I'm going to make that be 26. Isaiah Roby at 19%. That's about where he normally is. Justin Jackson, 16%. So he's actually worse. Kenrich Williams, 13.5%. He holds. And then Lou Dort in 19 minutes with a 28% usage rate. I don't want to go that high, but I will go to 22. Oh, yeah. So there's a decent chance. If you're rostering Oklahoma City today and it's not going well, don't panic early because they still have to fill that time no matter what. There is no such thing as like blowout run when you only have 8 guys. All right. So Diallo, Horford, Baisley, Roby, Dort, guys that you're going to have today. Kenrich Williams, even a little bit less so. But can't avoid it. Oklahoma City's massive today. Not fun. Not fun at all. 3 to go, and then we're out of here, guys. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. To get 220 people in here so early, I'm honored. I truly am. All right, Phoenix. Q tag on Chris Paul, Q tag on Crowder, Q tag on Nader. I don't care about Nader all that much. I'm assuming I need to put Crowder in, so I need to take minutes out of here. What backup Lakers come into play? None for me. I don't project blowouts. I would never play backups. All right, so let's do Chris Paul here. We'll put in Paul 33 minutes. We'll put in DeAndre Ayton at 34 minutes, which means Kaminsky. Actually, are they still playing Jones? Not really. Written by Jay. I appreciate the kind words, man. Give Kaminsky 14 minutes. Backup point guard minutes are going to go to Langston Galloway, which gives Booker 35 minutes. I got to give Bridges 34, Cam Johnson. When's the last time Jay Crowder played? All right, so when Jay Crowder was playing, Cam Johnson, this is going to need to be like 27. I'm going to assume Jay Crowder plays like a pretty normal run in his first game back. And then 13 to Eton Moore. I need to give more minutes to Kaminsky somewhere. So let's flip these. Then I have 7 left over. So it's either Damian Jones or Abdel Nader. We'll give him to Nader so I don't have to move stuff around. I'm really excited to recommend Dort today and have people lose their minds for it. That'll be fun. I will really, really enjoy that. I wouldn't expect LeBron to sit. I do expect AD to sit now, even though I'm projecting him in. Okay, so we need to take off Dario Saric. We need to take off Campaign. And then I'm basically treating it like everybody else is in. So then I'll start taking off all the other flotsam at the bottom. So Tyshawn Alexander gone. Jalen Smith gone. Josh plays DFS. You guys are pumping out content like no one else. You'll love to see it. I love to see it, man. We have been aggressive with the content as of late, and I'm happy to be doing it. All right, so Cam Johnson, 16.5%, so we'll make it 17. Chris Paul, 23.5% usage, so we'll stick there. Ayton, 21. 19.3 this season. We'll stick at 20. Booker, 31, so we'll stick at 30. Frank Kaminsky, actually, that should be 30.5. Kaminsky, close to 20, make it 19.5. Jay Crowder, 16. Mikal Bridges, 17. Done. So for Phoenix, I like Devin Booker. Actually, these guys are all fine. Booker, Ayton, Paul, Bridges. All pretty equal relative to salary. Not all that much interesting coming from Phoenix. No surprise there, taking on Milwaukee. 2 to go, guys, and then we're getting out of here. 186 likes. You guys are the best. Absolute best. So we go to Toronto now. Lowry probable. OG questionable. How questionable is OG? Any Toronto fans out there? What do we know about OG Anunoby's health? First time being listed questionable, but I'm going to lock him back in now again. Wouldn't be surprised if he didn't play, but once you're back in and questionable, I'm going to assume that you are on the floor. So we know the drill here. 36 minutes for Kyle Lowry, 36 minutes for Fred VanVleet. We'll give OG Anunoby 32 minutes in his return. We'll give Pascal Siakam 36 minutes. All these numbers should probably be 37 right now, but with OG back, maybe they don't have to. Chris Boucher has been playing solidly, so we'll give him 26, which means that Aaron Baines is going to be right around 18, which means that I can take 4 minutes from Siakam, move them to center. Next up is going to be Norm Powell. So Norm Powell has been playing a ton with OG Anunoby in. And even when it's been a while since everybody's played, but I guess Norm Powell is going to see at least a mild reduction in minutes. So I'm going to take him down to 26. And then Terrence Davis is going to need to maintain his backup run. So that's 12. Let's move that there. I've got 18 minutes left. Who maintains their spot in the rotation? Bembry or Yuta Watanabe? I think it's going to end up being Bembry. Yuta gets the spillover. And then we move to Toronto just as an overview. Chris Boucher, 6K on FanDuel, probably my favorite. Oh, I gotta change rates now that OG's back. So none of this is correct. Not that they're gonna change all that much, but OG's minutes are important because it allows everyone else to increase their usage rate. So everybody's just in, right? For Toronto? Everybody but McCaw. So let's take off Jalen Harris, Paul Watson, Matt Thomas, Alex Len. Jalen Harris, Matt Thomas, Alex Len, Paul Watson, and then Malachi Flynn. And now we'll be good. Might actually like Toronto here for the first time in a while. We'll see what their prices actually are. So Baines is at 15% usage. We'll put that in at 16. Chris Boucher, 21.5% usage rate with these guys off the floor. So let's make that 20, which puts VanVleet at 24. Kyle Lowry, normally 22. He's at 20.5 here. Call it split the difference, 21. Norm Powell, 22. Keep him at his normal rate. OG, 17.5 this year. Call it 16.5. And then Siakam is at 24.5. We'll just make it 25 like his normal rate. Can't imagine any other rates change much. So, yeah, Boucher at the top for me on FanDuel at 6K. 5,900 looks good on DK as well. After that, Lowry, VanVleet, OG, and Siakam in order, but not all that great. He's mostly filler for Toronto today against Washington. And then we close it out with the Wizards. Final game, guys. So thanks for joining me. 230 people, 198 likes. You guys are being the best ever. We'll have contenders videos coming out after this, betting video with Ben Raza coming out after this, and NBA strategy show with Laffy coming up at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Not on anything else after that, but please tune in to everything else we have going on today. All right, so Wizards should be their normal rotation now. Russell Westbrook should be playing. We'll have to gut all of this stuff, but that's fine. All right, so Russ, I'm going to give 33 minutes. We're going to have Raul Neto be the backup point guard. And then we're going to give Ish Smith 24 minutes, which allows us to give Beal 24 and another 13. That takes him to 37 because he plays crazy minutes. Robin Lopez is just playing like 20 minutes a game now, although he did play 27 this last time out. So I'm going to give him 22, which allows me to give Alex Len 18. And then 8 additional minutes to Rui Hachimura at the 5. And then another 22 to Rui, which allows Bertans to get... Oh, that's not going to work. So who would... I guess Rui can, in theory, play the 3. So Bertans is going to need to be at 28 for me, which means this is 20 and then 2. Denny, big minutes this last time out with Russ out. Previous 2 games with him in, about 16 minutes. So I'm going to go 18 on Denny, which is leaving me 15 minutes short. Who am I missing? Oh, Garrison Matthews needs minutes, I guess. We'll give him 8. And we'll give Mo Wagner 7. Now, all we need are rates for Washington, and we are done. 202 likes on 220 views. Best morning show crowd in the world, bar none. All right, so let's start taking some of these guys off for Washington, which is, well, an aggressive task given how little guys play. All right, Thomas Bryant off. Pasniks off. Cassius Winston off. Caleb Holmesley. I don't even know if that's a real person. Anthony Gill off. Jordan Bell off. Isak Bonga off. Then we're about there. Wizards have to play so many guys because they stink so bad. It's crazy. No, not Denny off. It looks like we're going to get out of here in 90 minutes. That's exciting. All right, Jordan Bell off. Is that going to be enough? Anybody else? Any stragglers? All right, we'll call that close enough. Alex Len, 16% usage. Bradley Beal, 36% usage. Assist rate up? Nope. Bertans, 16.5% usage. Call it 17. Ish Smith, 16% usage. Call it 16. Robin Lopez, 19. Nope, 16. Good. Rui, 19. Good. Russell Westbrook, 32. And then I know I'm going to have to increase his rebounding rate because he wasn't rebounding as much in Houston. And that should be it. Will I still do my top 10 video? Yep, that's coming out after this. I'm going to record it almost immediately afterwards. That looks good. Don't like Washington at all today. Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook, and that is it. Like them a lot more on DraftKings too. Beal is 10-6 on FanDuel, 9,300 on DK. Way better on DK. Russell Westbrook, 8,400 on DraftKings. Also looks great. So that is it, guys. That's the end of it all. I could say quickly, favorite plays overall without running contenders yet, but let you guys in behind the curtain. You know, guys that I'm going to have a lot of: Diallo, Drummond, Doncic, Horford, Kawhi, Malcolm Brogdon, Jokic, Turner, Boucher. Those are the top guys on FanDuel. Doncic, Kawhi, Sabonis, Jokic, Bradley, Levine, Trae Young, Diallo. That's all on... oh, that's not in order. Roby on DraftKings. Huge play. 3,700. Best value on the slate. Luka, Diallo, Sabonis. Lots to like today, guys. All right, that'll do it. Hour and a half. Took me 90 minutes to get through 9 games. I think that's fine. 10 minutes a game seems pretty reasonable. Maybe we could use that as a jumping off point moving forward. I've asked you guys for everything. So likes, subscribes, notification bell. You guys have done all of it. almost as many likes as viewers. You guys are the best. We'll be back again tomorrow doing this one again, kicking it off at 6:30. What's the schedule look like tomorrow? How many games do we have? 5-gamer tomorrow, so we'll be able to move through it pretty quickly. I'm off to record Contenders. So guys, thank you for joining me. I greatly appreciate it. You guys are the absolute best. It's nice to have you guys here, and good luck tonight. We'll see you later.